Evening, welcome as always to the Vanarama National League highlight show. Grant Holt alongside me here at Wetherby Road, home of Harrogate Town, and we'll get to the action here in due course. But we'll start our roundup with arguably the form side in recent weeks, Yeovil. They've won their last 7 before today's trip to Hartlepool. Andy May has the details.
The scoring was opened in the northeast moments after the restart following pinball in the visitors' area. Eventually, Guime Touré was able to beat the frustrated Adam Smith, making it 1-0 to Pools. Next came 2 in 2 minutes, in 2 minutes of added time. First, a James Tilley cross was turned in by Rhys Murphy for the equaliser. Then Craig Hignett's men snatched back their lead through veteran midfielder Jason Kennedy, with it earning a first victory in 6 and ending the Glovers' winning streak. Seeking a maiden victory against Bromley in the 5th tier, Barrow went ahead 10 minutes before the break. Non-league journeyman Dior Angus was on target for the first time this season. Into the second period at Hayes Lane, Angus turned provider, allowing Scott Quigley to net a 9th of the campaign, moving a goal clear of John Rooney in the fight to be the Bluebirds' best striker. Late on, Bromley's leading forward pulled one back, but an 8th so far this term for Michael Cheek wasn't enough to stop Barrow, equalling a club record 6 wins in succession.
Bromley are a good side. You know, they don't go 14 games unbeaten at this level and be top of the league without being a good team. But we're playing really well at the moment. As I said, we're being clinical in front of goal, but we're controlling games with our possession, which is really pleasing. I'm super proud of the players, and you know, start of a tough week, we've got the right result.
The National League's top scorers needed only a couple of minutes to net at Maidenhead. Liam McAlendon ended up ensuring the Shea men have won 4 of their last 5 on the road and are back in first position. Having failed to win away all season, Wrexham went ahead in Surrey 2 minutes after the interval. James Jennings also bagged against the Cards in his first full season with the Dragons. But in response, Alan Dowson's hosts piled forward, eventually earning the equaliser, which has been given to Kane Ferdinand. The draw keeps Woking 4th.
It was excellent. Both sides give everything. Generally, all round pleased with the performance of the team. Carried out the instructions, the game plan. It nearly worked, but unfortunately, we switch off. Not just one person, but 3 people. 3 players switched off from a throw-in, which cost us 3 points.
The indefatigable Brian Flynn remains in charge for the time being, at least at Wrexham. They may well confirm the appointment of a permanent new manager in the coming days. But let's talk first about the new leaders. Halifax, we watched them on BT Sport win at Dover last week. Excellent win. And a first-minute winner, as it turned out today. You're not quite sure the goalkeeper could have done a little bit better with Liam McAlendon's goal.
I think he should. I think he should do better. It's not like it's... Look, it's a good striker and he's there, but there's not that much power and it's gone in the corner. But to be fair, Halifax have... What a season they're having. I said we watched them last week. Work ethic, brilliant. Know what they need to do, know where they are, and just look solid. They don't look like they're going to concede goals at the minute.
I don't know which team to think might end up at the top of the pile. I was thinking Yeovil, as we got here today, 7 wins on the spin, and then Hartlepool have turned them over today with a very late couple of goals.
Yeah, that's it. We just don't know. You can never count out in the National League. I said, to be fair, Hartlepool, we know when they're at it, they're a good side. Hartlepool, when they're at it and when they're working, and obviously they get late goals, kept on going, and it's been a bit of the talking point of the day really.
Absolutely.
With all the late goals.
Well, it's a 91st minute equaliser from Rhys Murphy, and then Jason Kennedy's winner is even later, 93rd minute for the win for Hartlepool. So that will sting for sure for from a Yeovil point of view.
Oh, he won't be happy with that one either, especially when he just walked past 3 people and went in and tapped it in. So I said, late goals are the ones you want, really. And it's fine margins in this division. If you keep conceding goals late on like that and you keep gaining points, we know how the momentum shifts so quickly.
Well, I think we mentioned earlier, Bromley obviously lost their goalkeeper long-term last week, and that's 2 defeats on the spin. Started the day top. He'll be slightly worried, I guess, Neil Smith, having been unbeaten until last weekend.
He will be, but he said a few weeks ago, look, where we are now, I'm quite happy with where we are. So he didn't expect to be there. At some point we knew they were going to lose. At some point look, they've run into a Barrett team who's conceded, who's won 6 in 6 now. Yeah. Who's on absolute fire. Got goal scorers who are just quickly banging goals in left, right and centre. You've got to look at it for what it is. And Neil Smith being there so long, he knows what it's like. He's experienced enough to realise that sometimes you play against teams that have came in good form, and it's how you react to it.
And Ian Everett, the Barrow manager, learnt everything he knows from...
Not me.
That's not what you said to me earlier.
Look, he's a manager at the start of the season. When we spoke about it, he wasn't happy with certain things, conceding too many goals. He talked about it. Then they went flip side. They weren't conceding goals but weren't scoring goals. And now he just seems to get his balance right. And to be fair to Evo, he's one of them where he'll keep persisting till he gets it right. And I said they're in a fine form. This week's form team, Barrow. Who knows who next week's team will be? We shall see. Only way to find out in this league is keep watching. So in terms of the teams that are going for automatic promotion, for a top 7 spot, really, well, 2 met today in Barnet going to Dagenham, who definitely will have aspirations. And that's where we start our next roundup.
Dagenham went into this one having been unbeaten in their last 10. It took until the 40th minute for things to get going here, though. Bagasan Graham's pinpoint cross finding Angelo Balanta, who rifled home for his 6th of the season. Barnet were buoyed by a 4-0 win at Fylde last week. Josh Walker got on the score sheet that day and did so again here, keeping control of the ball when it mattered most to level things up just before the break. A quiet second half, and that's how it finished in East London. Promotion hopefuls Dover have only won 1 out of 7 at the Cravell this season, so they could have done with a moment of magic. Step up Bobby Joe Taylor, whose free kick wouldn't have looked out of place in the Premier League. Taylor's afternoon took a turn for the worse just 6 minutes later, though, when he fouled Richard Brindley in the box. Mitch Rose was yet to score for County this season, but no nerves here as he dispatched his penalty with ease. Dover went back in front 12 minutes into the second half. Jai Reason's free kick somehow found its way to defender Kevin Loco, who finished with all the assurance of a striker. There was, though, to be a twist in the tail. In second half stoppage time, Dover failed to clear their lines. Mitch Rose's pinpoint cross landing right on the head of Christian Dennis to guide his side to a precious point. After just 1 win in their first 7, Boreham Wood were now looking to make it 7 unbeaten. And they did so in perhaps the perfect way possible. A 93rd minute scramble saw the ball fall to Tyrone Marsh, who won it for the home side. The Wood leapfrogged Solihull into 10th. Whilst Fylde were looking to bounce back from a 4-0 defeat earlier on in the week, hosts Torquay were hoping to build on a 4-0 win. And they started in some style too, Calvin Kalala lashing the Seagulls into the lead after just 8 minutes. After a tough week, the visitors could have done with some luck. They got it early into the second half when Liam Davis's defensive header turned assist for Jordan Williams, who scored his 5th of the campaign. But that was about as fortunate as things got for Fylde with just 1 minute left to go. Torquay's Matt Hughes headed home the winner. A devastating way to lose for the away side, who had made the 600-mile round trip. Joy, meanwhile, for Gary Johnson.
Clearly a very relieved Gary Johnson. Obviously, the trouble continues defensively, particularly for Dave Challoner and Fylde, but let's focus really on Torquay because the 2 goals for them today were both brilliant technically, weren't they? Calvin Kalala.
As both as good as you'll see.
Yeah.
The volley, the heading technique is just as good as the volley.
Yeah.
Over his shoulder volley, watched it all the way onto his foot. Fantastic strike. I said one of them ones you just know when you hit them, that's in. And this is just as good. This is not an easy technique to bang that right back in that corner where it came from, especially with that pace. The marker, no. Oh, honestly.
Well, indeed, yeah. He's wiping his brow. I think Dave Challoner is definitely furrowing his worst defence in the league, and that's not like File.
That is not like them at all. He prides himself on clean sheets and scoring goals at the other end, and it's just not happening at the minute. Just conceding too many goals too often.
Yeah. I thought Solihull under Tim Flowers had turned a bit of a corner. They had a poor run after a good start, got back to positive ways, if you like, and yet they've gone down at Boreham Wood today. That's no disrespect to Boreham Wood. Late winner again, Ty Marsh with the winner, but strange...
Yeah,
unpredictable kind of
They just can't get going this year.
No.
Solihull, they just can't get going. And to be fair, they've run into a Boreham Wood side as well, who's turned a corner a little bit.
They have.
But that's the one you want. If you're going to get any goal, you want it 93rd minute, little swivel, go in, game's over, and you go and win it. But yes, they just can't get going at the moment. Solihull, they just can't get the momentum. We thought they turned the corner, but it just keeps stop-start again.
Yeah, they were missing some important players. I think they've got some of those back in recent weeks. That still hasn't worked. So then you're scratching your head, really.
The thing is, you can never write them off, because I said this league, they could either go and win the next 6-7 games, and they've got a good enough and big enough squad to do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, we keep saying it, but albeit we're 14, nearly a third of the way through the season, we haven't got a clue, have we?
We haven't.
And actually, I don't think the teams and the managers have either.
Well, that's the thing. We talked last year about Salford, we talked about Leyton Orient.
Yeah.
And we knew they were going to be up there. This year we don't.
We don't. Next, we'll have a look at what happened here, Wetherby Road, Harrogate. Ebbsfleet, the visitors, a team struggling really for confidence and certainly for goals. Could they get in Harrogate's way today? That amongst the rest of the action next. Welcome back to Wetherby Road, home of Harrogate Town. We'll see how they got on against Ebbsfleet shortly, but let's round up some of the rest of the action now in the lower reaches of the Vanarama National League table. We'll start a roundup at Sutton, where Stockport were hoping to turn their form around, having lost the last 5.
Two out-of-form sides met for the very first time at Gander Green Lane. Stockport hadn't found the net in their previous 3 matches, and Sam Minahan's long-range shot would be the closest the visitors would come. Host Sutton United, meanwhile, had picked up just 1 win in their previous 9 matches and occupied their lowest league position for over 3 years. Tommy Wright missed their best opportunity as the 3 points once again proved elusive for these two clubs. At home to Eastleigh, Chesterfield were aiming at back-to-back wins for the first time since March, and a quarter of an hour into the contest, they took the lead. The cross from Javaro, the opening goal from Tom Denton. However, John Sheridan won't be too pleased with his side's defending for the equaliser. A long throw from Jack Payne onto the head of Tyrone Barnett, and Eastleigh level just before half-time. Just 10 minutes into the second half and more sloppy work at the back from the Spirites. Sam Smart not looking too clever, were conceding possession, and Marcus Barnes took full advantage. The home side hit the woodwork when Liam Mandeville slipped in Mike Fonduk-Talum, but Eastleigh would hold on for back-to-back wins on the road. Chesterfield remain in the relegation zone.
I keep asking the players, you're going to ask me the question. I just don't understand, and I'm trying to get answers out of them, to be fair. What goes through their minds when they go a goal up? What's going through their minds? Whether it's this level with that, they don't understand simple instructions. Everyone can shout my name as much as they want. I cannot, seriously, do things for them once they're out on the pitch.
Another first encounter this time between two sides in the relegation places, but not one that will live long in the memory, despite the acrobatic efforts of Chris Holroyd. These two clubs are the lowest scorers in the league this season, so it was no surprise that they rarely troubled each other's defence. This attempt from Lewis Kinsella, a fair reflection of two sides struggling for points.
Well, sometimes a goal of straw is valuable. A point can make a difference. In Chorley and Aldershot's case, a few wins would not help. And that would certainly go also for John Sheridan and Chesterfield. What we saw there, obviously a manager at the end of his tether with what he's getting on the pitch.
It's the easiest thing, as I said, all the fans to shout his name, sing, get him out, do this, whatever. When you defend like this, he's got no chance. They're in the game, they've gone 1-0 up. That's just all that. doing that pass there, even before that, the bit in the corner, he's done a trick, he's got out of it, and then he messed up. He can't legislate for stuff like that.
No.
And I'll give him that. And
Absolutely. But then how do you fix things?
Well,
because you can't change your squad. Even in the National League, you can't change the whole squad.
Well, that's what I said.
Not in October.
No, exactly. And that's what we thought they'd turn the corner a few weeks ago by learning and tidying up and doing things. But you can't legislate for that. I said, the lads ran from the edge of the box and got a free header. No one's tracked him, no one's marked him. And the second one, they do that pass. And they need the points. I said, he's got a good right to annoy these players. But they're obviously not going to the well for him, and they need to start doing a little bit more.
Yes.
But in terms of results, they need to get results. They were massive favourites to kind of go up this year. They've spent good money to do that, and they need to start showing it.
Yeah, that's the Saturday Chesterfield crisis chat. Come and gone. We do it every week. As promised then, let's get to events here. Obviously, Harrogate up against Ebbsfleet, joint bottom at the start of the day. Harrogate mid-table, but hoping for better after a decent run of form. The two Adams were watching, Adam Virgo alongside Adam Summerson.
Fallowfield. Kiernan with the chance and a good save. He was well positioned to make the stop there, Jordan Holmes. Early opportunity for the home side there. Good run forward here by George Smith. Kiernan. George Smith. And Muldoon. And another chance. And Beck. Oh. And still they go on, but it's not going to count. It had gone out of play.
Decent ball in there from Smith. Muldoon makes a run across the near post, unmarked. Holmes makes a good reaction save.
Alex Bradley. That's a good ball. Fallowfield. Smart save by Jordan Holmes. And then another shot. Well, he's made a few good stops now, the Ebbsfleet goalkeeper.
Down their right-hand side to cut the ball inside from Bradley into Fallowfield. It's not a bad attempt there from Morel on the edge of the box.
Reed decided to have a go, and he wasn't too far away there, the man on loan from Stevenage, who's been in good goal-scoring form, 3 in 5 games.
He's always optimistic from that angle. To be Belshaw there.
Beck, nicely worked. And Kiernan, it's a lovely move from Harrogate. Can Kiernan finish it? Yes, he can! Really nice Harrogate goal. Brendan Kiernan with the confident and composed finish.
Bradley that plays that delicate through ball to Kiernan, and his good composure to take around Holmes, takes him out of position where the goalie can't dive at his feet. And that's a good finish there.
Dugwu has a go, and they hit that early, and he wasn't far away.
That's a really good shot. I have to say it's an excellent save as well from James Belshaw.
Could be a chance at the other end now. Muldoon. And Fallowfield deflected, and it's turned in, and it's that man again. Brendan Kiernan gets his second of the match. And after what's really been a slow start to the second half from Harrogate, they double their lead against the run of play at Wetherby Road.
Kiernan's reaction to make that run across into the 6-yard box was excellent from him.
I think there's some consistency there. You know, we're covering the ground in games, and I think the attitude's been immense the last 3 games, and it's just a stark contrast to the performance we put in at Maidenhead only a few weeks ago. So it can soon turn, but sometimes it's hard to turn that momentum when it was going against us in the early part of the season. But yeah, it feels a lot better right now.
Well, we could hear you saying, don't gamble there in the second half. Were you getting a bit concerned?
Yeah, well, yeah, because it can change so quickly in the course of a game. And I thought we so up for it that sometimes it can be a little bit gung-ho, and then we were leaving ourselves, so it was going end to end and not much control for a spell, but it was certainly better when we anchored it in the middle.
Them 2 or 3 inches are the difference sometimes between equalising and then going on with momentum on your way, but all of a sudden they get probably their first breakaway, or they come in our half in the second period there, and the ball's got a ricochet off of Grimesy and it falls to their player. The ball comes in, it's get another ricochet off of Jamie Grimes, and the boy heads it in the back of the neck. And that one hurt there. But all credit to the lads, they showed the character to them. We kept battling. We know we were in a battle, but a lot happier with the second half, as I say. That there's a difference in respect of having that little bit of quality in the final third. And when you've got that quality in the final third and you've got opportunities, you must hit the target. And I don't think we worked the goalkeeper enough.
Well, I guess Gary Hill would tear his hair out if he could, at times anyway, tonight. But Harrogate feel like a team that's just starting to get some momentum.
Yeah, I think both words that they both said probably hit the nail on the head. The reflection of how the game was. Harrogate came in, they turned the corner. We knew what they are. They keep the ball well. They move it round. Yeah. They just haven't had that little break, little final third. And I thought that when they got the chance there, we thought, oh, was it going to be a here we go again in the first half, because they hadn't really put the chances away, and they just let Ebbsfleet sneak back into it a little bit. And the goal just before half time settled the nerves, I think.
Important, wasn't it? It ends up with 2. Brendan Keane. He could have had more than 2 actually, but the chances came and went initially, and then he just keeps his cool.
Yeah, well, the hardest one he actually didn't hit.
Yes.
And this one, he done great here. As I said, we spoke about the goalkeeper. Should he have come? Shouldn't he have come? He did, and he didn't get there. But in the end, he kept his cool, went round him and slotted in. But he'd done that run 2 or 3 times before that, and just didn't get in the end them. So they had the warnings, and they didn't deal with it.
No. So 1-0 at half time becomes 2 after a slightly sluggish start to the second half. Yeah, Ebbsfleet had a little bit of a run of it, but he reacts well to a deflected cross.
Yeah, nice little bit. As I said, he's gone for the shot. Nice little bit of luck. Manages to pop up perfect for you forward, and it's a great little cushion header, to be fair. But I said it was a bit, again, they came out, I thought the goal would have galvanised them just before half time. They kind of came out a little bit sluggish, Harrogate, and then obviously the goal kind of settled them down again.
Up to 10th, are they playoff contenders again, would you say, on tonight's evidence?
I think they will be. We know he's got his tight group. He doesn't like a big squad. He has 18, 19. But they've got quality. They've got people who can hurt you. They've got a diverse way of playing that can go along. They can mix it up. They can play into feet, and I think it's good stead.
He's been here a long time, 10+ years, so he knows what he's doing. But that is quite a small squad. Do you think at times that might be a problem? It's a long, tough season.
It's a tough season. The one thing it does gives him flexibility with his squad. He's got 18, 19 there. He hasn't used his budget, where he's got 5 other lads sitting in the stands that he's not using. What he then can do, if he does have trouble, he can go and get someone alone, because he's already put it into the budget. So it kind of works both ways. Sometimes it's better being in the building. But obviously he knows this level. As I said, the 3 lads who we had to replace last year all came from the lower league, which we know is really, really well. And I think he does it. He enjoys it that way.
Not just how you spend, but when you spend.
Correct.
Wise words, Holty. Here then is the Vanarama National League table. For what it's worth, because for all that we are nearly a third of the season gone, it's very difficult to predict how it might look in a week or two's time. Halifax lead the way. Well done to Pete Wildside. 2 points clear of Bromley. You can see the top 7, Yeovil, Woking, Barrow, Barnet and Dagenham and Redbridge. Certainly some of those will contest the playoffs and even automatic spots, but many of the teams we thought would be in the mix are not. There are some big names, much touted names, and so is what we know, at the wrong end still of the National League table, not least Chesterfield, Wrexham filed among them. Don't forget, we are back with more live action this coming Wednesday. Full fixture list in the Vanarama National League in midweek, and we are at Edgeley Park for Stockport, Hartlepool. Stockport taking a point today. Hartlepool winning today, so 7:30 for a 7:45 kickoff for that one on Wednesday. As always, my thanks to Holty.
Thank you.
And we'll see you on Wednesday. Thanks for coming.